Good to be with you.
It's good for you to come down, mate. I love to, the people to come down and see me.
Well, I wanted to see how you were doing.
Yeah.
You've had quite an experience.
Yes, I have, yeah.
And I would like you to just tell me as much as you possibly can, as much as you remember. Because, Keith, whether you know this or not, a lot of people are going to be listening and watching everything that you say, that you've experienced, and which is exciting, of course.
It is, yeah.
So, what are we talking about, people are saying?
Well, I started at the beginning when I was cleaning my car. It was on Good Friday.
Good Friday.
Good Friday, and I was washing the car. Good Friday is a sort of thing because it's all about life and death, isn't it? Good Friday.
Right.
So, And I was cleaning my car and I had this sudden pain come into my groin.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, what's that? And I couldn't understand why I had such a severe pain in my groin.
Right.
So I came into the house and Marjorie said to me, what's wrong? I said, I've got this freaking pain. She said, do you want me to fetch the doctor? I said, no, not the doctor. I want you to fetch an ambulance. So she fetched the room for an ambulance. The ambulance came in no time at all.
Right.
And I had this terrible pain in my groin. Told them. They took me to the hospital. And while I was at the hospital, they just couldn't find out what was wrong.
Right.
They gave me an injection in my leg to cure the pain.
Yes.
But I said, no, put in that leg, put it in this leg, the pain's in this leg.
Right.
But they said it'll work round.
Okay.
And they said it'll take about 20 minutes. So, 20 minutes and I was still in terrible pain. And they couldn't find out what the problem was. So I had to go and have an x-ray.
Uh-huh.
And after the x-ray, they still couldn't find anything wrong. And in this meantime, I was going in and out of consciousness.
Yeah.
And then I went back into the casualty and they said again, we don't know what it is, and I had a scan. I had to go and have another scan. I didn't know about the scan because I was out of it all.
Yeah.
I had this scan, but I couldn't stand the pain. I had to keep getting off the bed because of the pain.
Right.
And then suddenly this doctor appeared with all his green garb on, felt my stomach, and he said, I know what that is. Get him in the operating theatre right away.
Right.
And then I can remember them putting me back on the bed and running down the corridor with me on, literally running down the corridor into the lift and shouting to the people who were in the lift to get out of the lift.
Right.
So they could take me to the operating theatre, which they did. And the only thing I remember then when I went to the operating theatre was seeing all these lights around me.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then I'm absolutely positive that while I was being operated on, that I died. I don't know how long for. It could have been a matter of seconds. It could have been minutes.
Yeah.
But I think it was just seconds.
Okay.
Because everybody said after that I was a very lucky man.
Uh-huh.
But while I was under the operating theatre, I had this vision come to me. And I saw, first of all, I saw this black tunnel.
Right.
And it seemed as if I was behind the screen looking at the tunnel. I wasn't exactly there. I was looking at it through a plate glass window, if you like. And I could see these people going down this tunnel. They were in terrible pain. I couldn't hear them,
Right.
but I could see that they were in pain. You know, they were writhing and struggling like this. And they went down to the hole. There was probably 2 or 3 together, singly, etc. You know, and they'd suddenly go and they'd vanish. You wouldn't see them again.
Right.
And 2 people, well, they weren't people, they were monsters. They came out of the hole.
Uh-huh.
And they looked at me and they tried to get at me. And they were ugly. They were so ugly.
How big were they?
They were, I would think, looking at them, they must have been about 8 foot. They were taller than me. They were about 8 feet, because I was looking up at them. And they were so ugly, it's just, you can't describe how ugly they were. And they were trying to get at me, but they couldn't get at me.
Right.
And they kept trying to get at me, and they couldn't. But I just looked at them, and I didn't feel no problem with them at all. You know, I didn't feel it, because I was like, I feel as though I was behind this screen.
Right.
And then suddenly, as they was trying to get at me, they looked up like that.
Uh-huh.
And then this light came. They vanished, and I
Right.
saw this light, beautiful light it was, with all beams and rays coming off it and everything, you know.
Were there any colours to the light?
No, it was just like a
Just
bright,
a bright
white
light. Okay.
with all the sparkles, rays coming off it, you know. And I followed this light, I thought I'll follow this light, so I followed this light.
You were walking towards it.
I wasn't walking, I was floating.
Oh, float.
I was floating, I wasn't walking. I was floating towards it. And you seemed to go, it wasn't a tunnel, I wouldn't say a tunnel, but you seemed to go through something like that.
Okay.
And then you come out and you see all these beautiful, absolutely fantastic green fields.
Yeah.
They were beautiful fields. You can't describe how brilliant and the green grass was. It's impossible to describe it. And this light was still in front of me, the same distance away, and I kept going towards it. As I say, I wasn't walking, I was floating.
Right.
And you were going over these fields, like these valleys and hills and everything. It was absolutely fabulous.
So was this quite a speed?
Oh yeah.
It was quite a speed.
Yes, it was quite a,
Uh-huh.
it was like as if you're on a train and you were like that.
Right.
You were
right.
going along like that. Just had the light was in the same distance all the time, and then suddenly in front of me I could see an edge, and there was like white blobs on this edge.
Yeah.
And the light went behind the edge.
Right.
And as I got closer to the edge, I could see that these white blobs were actually white roses all
Right.
along the edge. And over the edge, I could see people, and I thought they were waving me, calling me on, say coming. And I looked at the people. I knew the people, but I just could not recognise them. To me, they seemed as if they were younger than they should have been.
Got you.
And I couldn't fathom out who they were. And I thought, I know you. I can't.
Yeah.
You know, like when sometimes you're walking in the supermarket and you see someone, you think, oh, I know them, but I can't describe them. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
And I tried to get through the edge, and it doesn't matter what I do, I could not get through the edge.
Yes.
If I tried to get through it, I couldn't. If I tried to get over it, I couldn't.
Yes.
And this light was still there at the back of the people. And it was like a building. The light was at the back of some sort of a building.
Uh-huh.
Can't, And as I said, these people were calling me. I thought they were calling me.
Yeah.
And as I got closer to them, they weren't calling me. They were telling me to go back.
Right.
The hands were going like that. They weren't speaking. They were just going like that.
Yeah.
But I still tried to get through the edge, and I could not get through the edge. I could not get over the edge. No way could I get through that edge.
Uh-huh.
And the light seemed to get more brilliant. And as it got more brilliant, I just seemed to pull away from the edge.
Yeah.
And then I came completely back.
Uh-huh.
I didn't come back over the fields. I never remembered seeing the fields again. I just came back.
Right.
As they waved me back.
Like a different route almost.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a different way back, if you like. But I didn't come over the fields. All I know is I just came back completely.
Right.
And that was it. But while I was in the hospital, it puzzled me. And
Yes.
I thought, did I actually go through this? Did I actually go through it? And I thought, because doctors were coming up to me. I mean, the one doctor came up to me and he said, Keith, he said, you were a lucky man.
Yes.
I said, yes, I know I was, doctor, but it's God. And he said, I knew there was someone else that were in that operating theatre with us.
Right.
And I thought, great, praise the Lord for that. And everybody was coming up and saying how lucky I was. And I was saying, it isn't luck, it's God.
Yeah.
It's God all the time.
Yes.
And it was absolutely a brilliant experience. But I kept puzzling, did I actually see it through the hospital? And I never said anything to anyone, because I thought to myself, well, I said to God, God, I know that if I did see it, you will somehow give me a sign that I did see it.
Right.
And after I'd been out of hospital a couple of 3 days, Lorraine said to me, Dad, what did you mean when you first come out of, when you was in intensive care, when you said to me, Dad, what did you mean when you said, Lorraine, they tried to get me to go down that big hole, and no way was I going down that flipping hole. And then I knew that what I'd seen, I'd actually seen it.
Right. Right. You said to me something about the roses.
Yeah.
The white roses.
There were white roses.
And then you found out.
I found out. I do gardens, etc., and I didn't know until Lorraine told me that white roses mean peace.
Right. Which really describes how your relationship with God and your future.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
So, what effect has this experience had upon you?
Always give me a beautiful effect, really, because I know where I'm going. I know where I'm not going,
Right,
because I was told I wasn't going there
right,
when he came down between us.
right,
You know, when he came between the devil and me, when that bright light came, I knew then, after I'd fathomed it all out, that I wasn't going there. I was going with God. I was going to where those white roses was, and to the people I already knew.
right,
And it's given me a feeling of security more than anything else.
right,
And I know that, you know, it's
right.
God.
How did you feel when you first saw the light appearing?
Elated more than anything, you know. I felt happy. That's the way to say it. I felt really happy
Right,
that this light had come,
yeah.
and I was going to go with that light.
How close do you think you came to the light?
I would describe it as about 10 feet away,
Right,
about 10 foot away from the light. But it was just a light. There was no like man or woman or anything in it. It was just a brilliant
Just a light.
light,
yes,
you know.
yeah,
But you can't really describe how beautiful the light was, or
Right.
how green the grass was
right,
of the hills and valleys we went over.
yes, yes. So, you had a taste of what?
I had a taste of hell, and I had a taste of heaven,
Right,
and I know which one I picked,
yes,
and I know which one I'm going to.
absolutely,
Definitely.
yeah,
And I think this is why God took me, to show me what I was going to get.
yes,
But I've often thought, if the people who have prayed for me hadn't have prayed for me, where I would have been.
you might have gone beyond the edge,
I might have gone beyond the edge. Yeah.
yeah,
Although I thank the people for praying for me, and I thank the people that are praying for me even today
right,
for it, you know.
right,
That they
right,
brought me back so I could be with them a bit longer and my family longer,
that's right,
you know. But while I was in the hospital, I felt so content that even the nurses said to me, you know, you're so content here, nothing seems to bother you.
yes,
And I said, no, because I'm in God's arms.
right,
I felt like I imagined a baby would feel who was in his mother's arms
yes,
all the time, just lying there,
yes,
knowing that God had got me in his arms,
uh-huh,
knowing that there were angels over my bed looking after me,
yeah.
you know.
So how close do you think that you are now to God, or Him to you?
Oh, I feel that he's just with me, sat with me
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
I feel he's in me, with me now. You know.
I suppose having an experience like that, there's no way you can deny how much He longs for you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, there's no way. No way. When I try to tell people about it, you know,
Yeah.
some of them, you know, just turn their head and that's it. But others,
Yeah, because they haven't been close
they
to
haven't
death.
been. They haven't seen
They
it.
wouldn't know.
They haven't seen it. No.
Yeah, those people you saw over the edge,
Mm.
and they sort of looked familiar, but much younger,
That's
which
right.
was making it difficult for you to recognise.
Yeah.
I wonder what you looked like to them.
I don't know. I don't know. Perhaps this is why they were telling me to
That's
go
what
back.
they tell him to go back, but they want him with him.
Telling me to go back.
Yeah.
Oh, we know him.
Well, to me, it's just another proof that the Spirit is ageless.
Mm.
Sure.
The Spirit never ages. It's only our bodies that get old.
That's right. See what how I felt. But you know, if I could have just recognised probably one of them, but I couldn't recognise any of them.
Yeah,
They seemed a lot younger than they should have been.
yeah,
I don't know. I can't explain that, but
yeah.
you know,
And in a form, in a glorified form as well,
Yes,
I would imagine.
they all seemed to be dressed in white.
Yeah,
They were all dressed in white,
yeah,
and they had like a certain glow in a sense about them.
yeah.
You know, they had this, that they were all happy and,
You know,
contented.
I've often thought of buying me a white pair of trousers. My wife won't hear of it.
You'll have a pair of white trousers and heaven clothes.
Yes, I'm not washing them.
Yeah, they were all dressed in white. And
The operations, Keith, how serious was it?
well, it was a very serious operation because it was touch and go.
Right.
You know, I mean, I said for my family, and all my family came. But
Right.
they didn't expect me to survive. Probably Margie can tell you more than I can.
Yeah.
Well, when he first came in and I said about the doctor, I said they wouldn't be there anyway. He says, I think we better get the ambulance. So I phoned, and he'd been cleaning the car.
Yeah.
So he got Wellingtons on. So I says, where are your shoes? And he says, up in the greenhouse. So I rang for the ambulance. So I went to run out there up the greenhouse to get his shoes, and as I went through the hall, so the ambulance was here. In a matter of 2 minutes it was
That
here.
was quick.
It was quick, yes. So they got him in. I said, shall I come in my car? And they said, yes, you follow behind. So I ran out of my sisters to tell her,
Yes.
to ring Lorraine and tell them that he'd been taken to hospital, like.
Right.
So up I went, and I couldn't find him at first, and then they took me through, and he was in terrible pain. And he was up and down off the bed, and I said, you've got to stop on that bed.
Yeah.
And he was up and down anyway. This went on for quite a bit. And then we went for X-ray. And we weren't too long there. We came back, and he was still in pain. He said about this injection, he's still got this terrible pain.
Yeah.
And then he got off the bed, and he collapsed on the floor, really. And I shouted the nurses, and they come and the two and a doctor came in and picked him up on me, and they said that this is when they said they were moving. He got to go and have a scan.
Right.
They sent me out, and then Lorraine was in the waiting room. She'd just come, so they took us into the family room,
Yeah.
and we sat there a bit, and then the nurses came and introduced themselves to us, and then the next thing you knew, there was this fella came down. He'd been operating. He was all in his green gear with his mask and his hat on.
Yeah.
And he says he was joking really at first, and then he says, joking apart, he says it's serious. He says it's touch and go. He says, but I can't operate. I'm already operating. I've come out the operating theatre to come down.
Yes.
He said, but I know someone who can, and he's on his way here. He's on his way to the surgery.
Right.
You know, to do the operation.
Yes.
And then we was there till 11:30 before, it was 5 o'clock when he went in.
Yes.
And it was after 11, I think, when we went into the intensive care.
Intensive, yes.
And he'd come out, and, well, there was nothing we could do, really, then. And we were out to 12, and I was going to stay the night.
Yes.
And they says, you might as well, they says, you can stay if you want.
Yes.
But you were as well to go home, because now we've settled him down, and I suppose I've given him someone to, we've calmed him down, and he'll be all right till like morning.
That's right.
But I don't want to go through the experience again.
You don't, do you?
No.
Keith, it was quite an extensive operation you had.
Yes, it was. Yes.
So, how much damage have they done to your body?
Well, they cut me from here
Yeah.
right the way down to there,
Right.
and they took all my bowels, my body, everything that was in my body, took it all out,
Yes.
so they could get to the aneurysm, which
Yes.
was across my chest there.
Yes.
And what they did, they repaired it with Teflon.
With Teflon?
Teflon, yeah.
Non-stick stuff.
That's not stick. So, if I get a bit cooking, I won't stick.
How about that?
Yeah.
Does that mean you'll digest your food quicker because it won't
think
stick
so,
around
yeah.
the sides?
It won't stick.
Brilliant.
But they repaired it with Teflon and just put everything back together again. And so all these little bit aches and pains I keep getting, the doctor said, it's been muscular, the knitting back together
That's
again.
right. That's
They
right.
had to take everything out, and I'm just glad that they put everything back in the right place.
Yes. Yes. No screws left over. No
Nothing-
washers.
No, nothing left
No.
over, no.
How many stitches did you have,
I had
Keith?
60.
60.
They weren't stitches, they were staples. They were
Staples.
stapled all the way down through my belly button.
Yeah.
They didn't go around my belly button, they went through it and right the way down. 60
Someone said to me that you looked a little bit like the railway track from
Yes.
Stourbridge to Stourbridge Junction.
That's right, yes, I
Yeah.
did. I remember the person saying that.
Yeah, dear me. Well, Keith, it's good to have you back,
It's good to be back,
and it's good to know the hand of God upon your life.
yes.
Really is.
It's good to know that He's with me all the time. And I know, I'm certain, I'm sure that He was with me all the time. From the time I was taken in that ambulance to the time they brought me back home.
Yeah.
You know.
Keith, someone will say, I don't believe in God. What would you say?
I shall just explain everything that happened to me. And to the people who say to me now that, how do you know there's a God? Have you ever been there? Have you ever know there's an heaven? Have you ever been to heaven? And I shall just say yes, and I've come back to prove it.
Right.
To tell you all about it.
Right.
Yeah. So I know there's an heaven.
Yeah.
So all these critics that say there isn't one, I
Yes.
can prove that there is.
Yeah.
Because I've been there.
So now you know a little bit about what Jesus meant when he says, I've gone to prepare a place for you.
Exactly. Exactly. Which I read in the Bible.
Yeah.
And what he said, I've gone to prepare a place for you. And if I don't want you, I'll tell you so.
Yeah.
And I think he told me so
Yeah.
when I went up to that edge.
Right. Right. So you went right up to the front garden gate.
I went up to the garden gate.
I wonder what the house is like.
I couldn't see it.
Big front garden, eh?
Yeah, it must be fabulous.
Yeah.
But that's what he meant when he said, I'm going to prepare a place for you.
Yeah.
And if I'm not so, I'll tell you so. And he told me so. So
Yeah.
I've got to wait a bit longer before I go to that place.
How do you feel towards God, knowing that...
Closer.
Yeah?
Closer, yes. Definitely closer.
Yeah. Because, well, he had to make a decision, didn't he?
Oh,
And he must
that's
have taken compassion upon you
That's right.
and says, Marge, you have him
Be
back a bit
back.
longer.
Must have been, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
He must have thought, well, I need him a little bit longer.
So, do you cook him extra special dinners now?
Oh no, I did it first.
Yeah?
But he's
But we
getting back to his
put a
old
stop to
self.
that.
That's
Yeah.
right. He'll expect it all the while, so you've got to be careful.
Well, exactly. I mean, if God would have wanted him in heaven, he'd have kept him there.
That's it.
Keith, we've just heard what Marge has had to say. And looks like you got to be on your best behaviour, mate.
Yes, definitely.
She ain't going to put up with any nonsense.
No.
And-
She backed the car into a lamppost last night, but I wasn't angry.
Is that right?
Yes, I wasn't angry.
Yeah. What happened to the lamppost?
Well, the
Still
lamppost still
That's still standing.
Yes.
How much damage has she done?
Well, I think I'll need a new boot lid, a new tailgate, and a new bumper.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose when you are more filled with heaven than you are with earth,
That's
you
right.
can take little bumps like that.
Yeah, it's just an
And
earthly thing, isn't it?
this is it.
You haven't got to worry about transport in heaven.
Yeah.
Just float along, and
Sounds pretty good to me.
just to me.
I won't have to worry about forgetting to stop at red lights.
There's no red lights in heaven.
Now that it's all over and he's beginning to get his strength back,
Oh yes, definitely.
I hear that he took his first drive out in the car.
Oh yes, just
Yeah.
a little drive, yes.
Watch him, he'll have that car off
You
you.
will, yeah.
Yeah, you know what he's like?
You don't like to be drove around,
Yeah.
that's the trouble.
Do you sort of think back now and think, dear me, I nearly lost him?
That's right, yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's natural now. You look back and you think how ill he was, you know.
yes,
And that when he was in that intensive care and you could see, I mean, a pile of the bags of blood, what they'd given him, that
Yeah.
really given him a complete, all new blood.
yeah, complete transfusion.
Yeah. Of course, they couldn't, with the warfarin, what he was, the tablets were on, they couldn't stop the bleeding, you know, so it was just, this is
course.
what it was.
Of course.
It thins the blood out.
Yes. So, this is a new phase of your marriage.
That's right.
Okay, Marge,
Okay,
thanks.
Thank you.
Keith, bless you. Thanks for your time. And bless God for having kept you.